I just wanted you to watch me dissolve slowly in a pool full of your love.
What it do, YouTube? My name is Bear Witness. Welcome back to the channel. Now, in today's video, we're going to be talking about Anthem, and we're going to be answering some of the biggest questions that we possibly can. But we're not doing this alone. In fact, a couple of days ago over on Twitter, they held an AMA. The boys over there at BioWare held an AMA, and they decided that they were going to answer some of our biggest questions. So we took some of the biggest answers to those questions, and we actually are going to be talking about them today in the video. But before we get into all of that, guys, if you guys are interested in a free copy of Anthem, I'm going to be doing a giveaway, or I am doing a giveaway right now. So make sure that you guys are hurrying and going into the description down below, clicking that link, because the giveaway ends on the 22nd, the day of release. So make sure you guys are getting signed up. Make sure you guys are telling your friends if they want the game as well, and make sure you guys are all enjoying the channel. But besides that, guys, we're gonna hop right into the video with this. We're gonna start off with Mark Dara and hit the questions that he actually answered. Sorry if I butchered his name. I'm pretty sure that's the way you say his name, but I'm not positive, you know. But either way, the first thing that he addresses is the microtransactions. A lot of people are worried about microtransactions. We actually held a conversation about it a couple of weeks back. But the big thing about this is that they are currently and always adjusting the economy to make sure that we earn the currency to get those through in-game currency at a respectable rate. And that's really nice. You know, that's the big thing, is that I don't mind having to grind for my cosmetics, but if I'm going to grind for my cosmetics, at least make it reasonable. Don't make it too grindy where I feel forced to buy it or I'll never get anything. So that was really something cool that he addressed. Also, a couple of weeks back, we also mentioned melee weapons when I was doing my first impression during week 1, or the VIP demo. I said one of the things that I felt about the game was that, you know, there was so much room for melee weapons and that they didn't use them, and I understood why, but at the same time I really thought that it would be a cool idea, at least for Interceptor to have her own, you know, interchangeable melee weapons. And right now she does, or not right now, but there will be some. They're just not going to be happening at launch. There's a lot of things that are going to be coming, guys, but not at launch. So I want you guys to bear with me, but this is some exciting stuff for me personally. Now, for all you PvP heads out there, they said that right now there will be no PvP at launch. So that's something that you guys can look forward to in the future. I speculated on the fact that they would probably add those in the future anyways, because it seems like kind of the thing that you want to do, especially during times where there is no content to be played. You know, you can only grind the same mission over and over again. They obviously want you to be playing the game for quite a bit of time, getting your friends into it, this, that, and the other. And one of the best ways to do that is PvP, because a lot of players like the competitive experience. Now, hopefully they have their separate you know, balancing updates and things like that. They keep it as separate as possible, so the players that like PvP can play PvP and enjoy the game for that, and the players that like PvE can enjoy the game for it, and they can not have to clash as much. You know, there's a separate leveling system and stuff like that. There's a lot of ways that they could go about it, and hopefully they do it well. I have a lot of faith in them that they will, that they listen to the community. They have a lot of good feedback lately, so I'm really excited about this. When it comes to the idea of, I want to see if they can execute it well. That's where my excitement comes in, because personally I don't care either way. I mean, I'll play the PvP, I'll put it on the channel so the PvP heads, if they do enjoy it, can watch it, and everybody can have a little bit of piece of Anthem from me, you know what I'm saying. But aside from that, guys, we move on. The loot table is based or biased towards your javelin now, or javelin, and not important. What is important, the loot table is completely based on what javelin you're using at the current moment. So if you're using a Colossus, but you know you gotten bored of the storm and you just wanted to use the Colossus and are hoping some high level gear accidentally drops towards, you know, your Colossus, that will not be happening. You have to play on that to get that item. So that makes it so, you know, you won't just randomly be able to, you know, have a high level Colossus based out of nowhere because you've been playing and grinding and you randomly had loot come out of nowhere. This is a very cool feature. The only thing that you should be able to switch over is weapons, and I think that's an awesome feature, and I'm very glad they put that in, because that's something that I just don't feel was necessary. I don't feel like they were going to I don't feel like that was something that they should do. Now, Chad Robertson was also in the AMA, and they decided that he didn't have a lot to say. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you guys that we're gonna be moving on from him very quickly, but what he did have to say was pretty cool. One thing that he said is that they want to add more javelins. Now, they are developers. They want to add more javelins. They are going to add more javelins. I keep saying javelin. I'm really confused on how you're supposed to say that. Anyways, point is, they keep adding. If they want to add it, they're going to add it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You know, it's as good as saying they are going to add more javelins. They want this game to last for years, like literally years. They want this game to last. They wanted to have a thriving community with multiple things to do and to play. So they're going to add more javelins, because if they don't, it's gonna get a little bit boring. But they also were gonna talk about alts. Now there is a position in which we'll talk about that more in just a little bit. But interchangeable alts, possibility. But like I said, we'll talk about that in a minute. No hard ending. That's another thing Chad Robertson said. It said that there would be no actual hard ending to the game, that it was going to be constantly, growing and changing and things like that. So they're not going to have any end scene with any credits. You're not going to see your last things. So, the fact that it's a story that continues, that I could probably hop back in and keep going, and there never be like a cap on how much story I can take in. Because right now, I don't know about you guys, but I'm in the mood for some RPG story time, and I'm really looking forward to this. So I'm glad that it won't end abruptly and I can just hop back into it. You know what I mean? Now, last but not least, my favorite BioWare dev, Big Ben Ervo, had quite a few juicy things to say about the game. Now, he teased the option of choosing alts. That's something that I really like. We just talked about it. I am very excited for. I would like that if there's not readily accessible, like if they don't see in the foreseeable future that they're going to add more javelins, which is, I'm not picky. I'm not sitting here and I'm not saying, oh, I want more javelins at launch or any time in the near future. But what I am saying is, if they're not going to necessarily add javelins in the immediate future, I would like to see if, there's some different ults they had in mind, maybe some things that they might not even have thought it was a good idea, but they were like, what, this is another option that we could have put out there. I wouldn't mind that, it adds a little bit more flavor to the game. It's pretty cool, because already know there's a bunch of abilities, but each javelin only has one ult. So I'm very curious to see where they go with this. Now, along with that, they have a lot of people have been saying it. But there is going to be no increase in the free play. There will be no increase in free play. The squad they see is in the short term. So there's not going to be any right now. But there will be some in the future, in the very near future. And I'm pretty, well, maybe not in the near future. They said short term. So long term could be any time in the next couple of years. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, I always want to put out the broad term that this is going to be years. Like, this is years in the making. So I feel very strong that they will add more players to free play, which is something a lot of people wanted. They wanted a more Destiny feel and things like that. So a lot of people wanted that. Now, another thing that kind of is I'm not gonna say I'm excited about this one. I'm not excited. I'm a little disappointed, but I'm not gonna be critical about it. There's no unique drops from bosses. Now, I think back to Destiny, and I try so hard not to compare this game to Destiny because I feel like that's off-putting to some people. But it didn't have unique loot drops for bosses at the start. At least it did at the start, but I still like that RPG element. It's still a really fun one because it's like you go there to get the specific piece, that might drop for this character, and then you have to go back and fight it to get a specific piece from that character. But I don't know. Now, another thing is, there will be no weapons beyond Legendary at launch. Now, that means that we will not be receiving any Masterwork weapons. Now, will there be Masterwork abilities and attachments for your Javelin? I want to say yes, because I definitely feel like that's something that is a key portion of the game. I feel like you would get that from your first set of raids, but there's a lot of post-launch content. If you guys hadn't seen that, I'll go ahead and link that in my bio, but there's a lot of post-launch content coming to the game soon, so there's probably going to be masterwork crafting in that, but I personally think that there might be some masterworks, if not one, maybe like if not multiple, maybe just one, that you get from, getting more towards the initial end of the major story. You know what I'm saying? So more towards the end of that, I think you probably will get it, but that's just speculation. Let's take that with a grain of salt. Like, don't actually put that into your head like that's something that's gonna happen, but I personally think that's gonna happen. And big thing, setting up P&Ds or primers and detonators is strictly about the difficulty of the mission and the team you are playing with. So if your team makeup doesn't have any primers, it's not gonna work. If the mission difficulty has a lot of bullet sponges, then you have to get rid of their shield before the primer can actually be a primer. If you try to prime somebody with a shield on, they're not going to be primed. I tried this a lot during the beta. It did not work out the way I wanted it to. So that's just personal advice, quick tip, if it has a shield and you're doing something hard, make sure you guys melt the shield off before you try to set it up with a primer and detonate it, because otherwise he's going to waste his detonator, or your teammate's going to waste his detonator, or you're going to waste your detonator, and there's also going to be primers wasted. That's abilities down, and that's people that are not getting damage dealt to. So make sure that you guys have their shields off if you're doing higher level missions, because higher level missions mean more bullets, means more shields, means tougher enemies, means they're not going to go down as easy. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and hopefully you guys got a lot of your big answers from these questions, or from the questions that were asked. Thank you guys so much for checking out the video, and if you guys do enjoy the video, you guys already know what to do. Leave a like, click that sub button and that bell to be notified on every single one of my uploads, especially if you love Anthem and you're as hyped for Anthem as I do. And with that being said, guys, I'm out of here. Peace.